welcome to the LMU Tri-State News Year in Review. Today we will look at the top 10 stories of 2012.
Let's kick off the countdown with a little Christmas cheer. The 10th story on our top 10 takes us to December 4th, 2012. Rojo made a Christmas a little brighter for 250 kids as they sponsored a shopping spree for children in the tri-state area who are in need. The children were selected by their principals and were bused to the Middlesboro Walmart. This year, the children were given $150, $110 to spend on clothes, and $40 to spend on toys. To give you an idea on how much this annual event has grown, the first shopping spree, dating back to 1970, only involved 5 children. To help sponsor a child for next year's event, contact one of the Rojo members for more information. The 9th top story of the year takes us back to September 28, 2012. Students, faculty, and staff from Virginia Tech and Lincoln Memorial University teamed up to release freshwater mussels into the Powell River. The team scanned the river all day in 3 different locations to put a total of 5,000 endangered mussels back into Powell River. Students who took part in the event received great experience that could help them land a job in the future. Mussels are important for the river because they are filter feeders, which clean the water and make it clear. Our 8th story of the top 10 dates all the way back to June 18, 2012. It was a special day here on the LMU campus. A memorandum of understanding was signed by President B. James Dawson and Sheriff David Ray, which made the security on campus official officers of the law. A total of 7 police officers now protect and serve the LMU campus, which includes the main campus in Harrogate, Tennessee, and portions of LMU-owned property in the Cumberland Gap, Tennessee area. Claiborne County Sheriff David Ray says the police department at LMU is a very important necessity in the north end of the county. Currently, LMU employs 7 officers, 11 security guards, and 5 dispatchers.
Our 7th story dates back this year to the World School International Forum 2012, which was hosted by Lincoln Memorial University and J. Frank White Academy. It was 10 years ago that LMU and JFWA hosted the first World School held outside of Japan. While here, students and teachers from over 20 different countries spent time learning about one another's cultures, traveling to Washington, D.C. and Gatlinburg, while also visiting with homestay families. World School unites, enhances a global perspective, creates international friendships, and fosters tolerance and understanding. It is an annual event and is scheduled to be held next year in Tokyo, Japan. In October of this year, the campus of Lincoln Memorial University celebrated one of its biggest milestones yet. Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam joined LMU President James Dawson and Chairman Pete DeBusk in dedicating the Math and Science Building. The building is 140,000 square feet with state-of-the-art classrooms, research laboratories, and office space. The facility is home to undergraduate, graduate, and professional programs at LMU. On that day, Governor Haslam was also awarded an honorary doctorate of public service during the ceremony. A tribute to scientists that changed the world was unveiled that recognizes the world of scientists from Oak Ridge National Labs, Y-12, and the Department of Energy. For more information on that building, you can visit Lincoln Memorial's website at www.lmunet.edu.
We cracked the top 5, and for this story we go to April 28th. On this day, injured soldier Lance Corporal Cody Evans made a surprise trip back to Claiborne County to attend a charity auction in his honor. This was Evans' first trip back to Claiborne County since he lost both of his legs on active duty. Hundreds of people packed the Old Powell Valley High School to give respect and thanks to the soldier for his sacrifice for our freedom. Items from signed University of Tennessee footballs to area rugs were all auctioned off. All the proceeds went straight to the Evans family to cover the cost of Cody's medical bills. Evans continues with his recovery to this day.
In our 4th top story, it is one of the worst officer-involved shootings in the history of Claiborne County law enforcement, and the trial against the 2 men was pushed from last summer to this spring. It was December 5th, 2011, that the Claiborne County SWAT team, along with the 8th Judicial Drug Task Force, announced themselves to a residence on Thomas Lane in Speedwell. The 2 men were father and son duo, 67-year-old Nolan Osmus and 43-year-old Jerry Osmus, both of Speedwell, who opened fire on the officers. Officers took cover and returned fire, striking the father, Nolan Osmus. The 3 other people inside the home were not injured. Evidence from that investigation was presented presented before the grand jury and indictments were granted on both men. Nolan spent time recovering in the hospital and was arrested after his release. He and his son were charged with 4 counts of attempted second-degree murder and 4 counts of aggravated assault. Their initial appearance in criminal court was scheduled for October of this year, but it was postponed until January 2013. Both men remain out of jail on bond. Nolan Osmus remains on house arrest. The Claiborne County Sheriff's Office outdid their own record in early December with what they titled Operation Surprise. The operation is the result of several months of undercover investigations that resulted in indictments on 72 people, consisting of 314 criminal offenses. Prior to that, the most the Sheriff's Office had served was 60 indictments with approximately 100 counts. Officers from the Claiborne County Sheriff's Office, Knox County Sheriff's Office, New Tazewell and Tazewell Police Departments, the 8th Judicial Drug Task Force, and Tennessee Bureau of Investigation teamed up into 6 teams and covered the entire county. The Claiborne County Sheriff's Office would like to thank the good citizens for their cooperation and information received. They encourage anyone with any information concerning drug activity to contact them at 423-626-3385.
We're down to the top 2 stories of 2012, and for number 2, we visit the dates of March 2nd and July 6th. On March 2nd, an EF2 tornado touched down in Harrogate, Tennessee, leaving destruction to anything that came into its path. Cleanup started immediately after the storm hit and is still ongoing. The tornado brought TEMA and FEMA to the area to help everyone affected by the twister. Just when we thought the worst was over, another storm ripped through Claiborne County on July 6th, also causing mass amounts of damage. Lincoln Memorial University was one of the worst hit by the storm. Trees snapped at the bases, roofs torn to shreds, and downed power lines were just some of the damages seen on campus. The cleanup took several months, and the impact of the storm was felt by all who suffered through it.
And we're down to the biggest story of 2012, which takes us back to April, when the man who pled guilty to second-degree murder of a Cumberland Gap man was sentenced. On that day, that was originally scheduled to be the 3rd and final day of motions in the case, alleged murderer suspect Donnie Smith of Middlesboro pled guilty to second-degree murder. In his own words, sworn under oath to the Honorable Judge Shane Sexton, Smith pled guilty to the murder of 66-year-old Harvey Fusen. On January 25th, 2011, Fusen was found unconscious inside of his business, the Old Drugstore in Cumberland Gap. Smith was sentenced to 45 years in Tennessee Department of Corrections custody at Range 3 at 100%. According to District Attorney Jared Effler, he could be eligible for parole after serving 85% of that sentence. We would like to thank you all for watching the 2012 Tri-State News and Review. For everyone behind the scenes, Adam Plyler, I'm Ashley Hurley. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.